the beautiful thing, the big difference for me was that it was revenue share versus profit share.
So Matt, would you talk about how eXp can really, in a simple way, help you become get on the right side of the quadrant?
Well, that's a great point that you bring up. And it's interesting to me, Brett, actually, as we're talking about it, and we didn't have this all scripted. So this is, we're just having fun here, as I call Tremendous Tuesdays. So, in the traditional real estate model, which this is my 21st year, you could say my 45th year. I'm 45 now, and my parents been brokers for 47. So I'd literally been in diapers in this business. But it's interesting. I saw my mom, who's a top performer, was just on this transactional treadmill all the time, made great money, was the number one realtor in our county here in California, Placer County, in the late 80s, early 90s. And, they did very well. But kind of on the outside looking in, I'm wondering, boy, how can that's not really on the right side of the quadrant, right? The business owner, she probably felt like she owned a business, but really she just had a glorified job that made good money, but she was a slave to her her job, her business. What I see with eXp and what I saw with a previous model that was a disruptor 20 years ago was the aspect of still being able to do your transactional volume and your sales, which is important, right? Helping buyers and sellers. That's what we love to do. But then the other thing was that there were other avenues or income streams that were available to agents that had never been available prior. 20 years ago, that was the Keller Williams model. It was quite a disruptor. It was revolutionary. And some partners and I, really embraced it and went on to build offices and ownership and offices and so on. And it was great. But the challenge, and this is no hit against KW, it's a phenomenal company. They are more of a franchise model, whereas say eXp as an example is not a franchise. They're not for sale. You can't purchase one. But you can become, an agent or a member of it. And the beautiful thing, the big difference for me was that it was revenue share versus profit share. And revenue share, as you know, is off the top. Profit share is after all the bills are paid. If there's some profit, we will share part of it with you potentially. And that leaves room for creative accounting and different things of this nature. And again, without going too deep into all that, but when you have individual broker owners of the franchises, well, they all have different costs and overheads and, different things of that nature. Whereas eXp, very predictable. So to be able to have that relationship capital that you build as an experienced agent throughout the years with your friends that are in the industry, you can simply share the opportunity of eXp to have a very competitive split and have a cap where you could go to 100%. And then on top of that, because, we do hear, Brett, that agents say, well, I don't really want to recruit. And I said, well, great. Don't recruit. You don't have to recruit. It's totally optional. But we literally have agents that have become millionaires just in the stock, which you did not get to partake in with, at least when I was with Coldwell Banker or Keller Williams or those sort of things. I didn't earn stock or ownership in the company just for simply doing something I was already doing, which was selling homes. So that was pretty revolutionary. I'd say that's the real disruptor going today is eXp, and that it's a different mindset. It's a shift in thinking. And if you can get a realtor to slow down a bit on the treadmill just to learn the model, if they keep their learning hat on, there's an aha moment. They all seem to have it. They go, well, wait a minute. So, okay, I don't have to recruit if I don't want to, but it's there, if I choose. And I can literally earn stock. There's 5 different ways to earn stock for doing what I'm already doing, staying in my lane, helping buyers and sellers. So now you're building other avenues of wealth, which the traditional brokerage doesn't afford the agent the ability to do. So that was really a game changer and kind of a long answer to your question, but there's really kind of 3 different wealth creation avenues within EXP that's kind of set the industry on its ear. It's pretty neat.
It's amazing, and it's also very simple, right? So you're either selling real estate and earning stock, or you're selling real estate and not earning stock, right? Or if you choose to recruit and coach and train people, which, by the way, that's what I did for years when I was at Marcus and Millichap.
Yeah.
And I'd recruit people, I'd train them, I'd coach them up. Sometimes they'd be my competition right next to me after a couple deals. Sometimes they'd move into a completely different firm, right?
Yeah,
so
happens. Yeah,
making it
training your competition.
Yeah, making it super simple, right? How are you incentivizing, even if you're like a lead of a team, right? You're probably not, or even if you have your own brokerage, right? Because I went from working at Marcus and Millichap to joining another kind of smaller boutique firm, and then starting my own and became a broker. And so you go, okay, so I can go it alone, I can stay with somebody, I can kind of do a hybrid, or I can join what I like to call like the Amazon of real estate, right? Which right now, the way that this tech company is driving the way to be efficient and then to share in those revenues makes it what I like to say on the investor or the business side of things, right? So on this quadrant, if you go back to the four quadrants, right, you have like kind of the W-2 in the top left, you have the 1099 in the bottom left, you have the business owner in the top right, and then the investor part is on the bottom right. So as I sell real estate, you have a chance to earn stock. And I'll give you an example. I was approached actually 5 years ago with eXp.
Really?
And I said, you know what? Wow. It sounds too good to be true. I'm good where I'm at. And I was one of those guys on the hamster wheel, running, doing deals. And I didn't take the time to really look at it. In fact, had I done that, I think I would have changed, but I didn't take the time to look at it. I dismissed it. And I went back, Matt, and I did the math. And I actually encourage everyone to underwrite the model and look at where it's at today and where you're going to be in the next 10 years. For me, it cost me somewhere around $750,000, okay, an actual stock right now, not recruiting anybody, just simply selling the deals that I would have sold. And you get to purchase stock, which is pretty cool, at about a 10% discount. Up to 5% of your commission can go towards that, and that would have put me on the I side, right? And that could change my family tree and wealth and the ability to build that. So that is the first thing, is getting a chance to be an investor